वाक्यनरं श्रीकृष्णं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरोन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we are discussing the Dhruva Maharaj story. When Dhruva Maharaj went to the forest, his father Uttanapad started lamenting. Narada Muni, after instructing Dhruva Maharaj, he came to meet Uttanapad. So at that time, Uttanapad was lamenting, realizing his mistake, that because of him, Dhruva had gone to the forest. I completely came under the control of my wife. I was conquered by my wife. Because of that, when Suruchi spoke those harsh words, I did not speak a single word to chastise Suruchi. And I practically banished Suniti and my son. I don't know whether my son Dhruva is alive or not. So, because of being conquered by my wife, I have become very hard-hearted. I acted very cruelly towards my son Dhruva and also towards my wife Suniti. So at that time, Narada Muni speaks certain words to Uttanapad. We'll see that. Narada Uvacha. 67 we completed. This thing.
Who was this? Who was that? See, good answer. 67.
67. Aho me bata dauratmyam.
Aho me bata dauratmyam.
Trijitasyopadaraya.
Trijitasyopadharaya.
Yonkam premnarurukshantam.
Yonkam premnarurukshantam.
Nabhyanandama sattamaha.
Nabhyanandama sattamaha.
Alas.
Alas, just see how I was conquered by my wife. Just imagine my cruelty. Out of love and affection, the boy was trying to get up on my lap, but I did not receive him, nor did I even pat him for a moment. Just imagine how hard-hearted I am.
Trijitasya. Trijitasya means I am controlled by women. Aho me bata dauratmyam. See my cruelty. See how I behaved in a very hard-hearted way. Upadaraya. See my cruelty. Na abhyanandam. I did not welcome my son. Premna with love, I did not welcome my son. My son was Ururukshantam. He tried to climb on my lap. Ankam Ururukshantam. But I did not welcome my son. Asattamaha. Asattamaha. I am the most vile person. I am the most wicked person. Acted in a very cruel, hard-hearted manner. So we see that when a person becomes attached to sense gratification, then it also makes a person very hard-hearted. Uttanapad had two wives, Suruchi and Suniti. Suniti refers to good niti, good instruction. Suruchi refers to sense gratification. So when a person becomes attached to sense gratification, one becomes very hard-hearted, one becomes partial, one becomes cruel in one sense. So, but Suniti, when a person listens to good instruction, then a person becomes determined. One gets the right wisdom. But here Uttanapad, because he was sincere, he is lamenting. So now Narada Muni says that Narada Uvacha
Narada Uvacha
Mama Shuchasvatanayam
Mama Suchasvatanayam
Devaguptam Vishampate
Devaguptam Vishampate
Tat Prabhavam Avikyaya
Tat Prabhavama Avidnyaya
Pravrinte Yadyasho Jagat.
Pravrinte Yadayaso Jagat. Translation. The great sage Narada replied, My dear king, please do not be aggrieved by us about your son. He is well protected by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although you have no actual information of his influence, his reputation is already spread all over the world.
Just like in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Moksha Yishyami Ma Shuchaha. Do not worry, I will take care of all your sins. Here Narada is saying that Ma Shuchaha. Do not lament, do not worry. Swatanayam, your son, Devaguptam Vishampate. He is protected by the Supreme Lord, Devaguptam. Vishampate is basically addressing the king, Vishampate. Vishampate is a Sambodhana Vibhakti word, or master of human society. Vishampati. Vishampate is the Sambodhana Vibhakti. Swatanayam Devaguptam. Your son is protected by Deva. Deva here refers to the Bhagavan. Guptam, he is protected by the Lord. And he is saying that he is still living. But Avijñāya, Tat Prabhavam Avijñāya. But his greatness is not yet known. He is living, but his greatness is not yet known. It's not yet known to the world. And Yad Yasho Jagat Pravrante, his fame will spread throughout the universe. Yasho Jagat Pravrante. Therefore, do not lament. So Narada is saying that Dhruva's, you are not aware of the Dhruva's prowess. His greatness is not yet known. His fame is going to spread all over the world. He is definitely living, is protected by the Lord. The Prabhupada says that sometimes when people, great sages, when they go to forest to perform austerities, there are very wild animals there in the forest. Will a person be protected when a person goes to perform austerities to worship the Supreme Lord? There's a doubt whether such a person will be protected by somebody. Will such a person be taken care of by somebody? In fact, the Bhagavatam second canto, second chapter, beginning, Shukdev Goswami also tells to Parikshit Maharaj. Shukdev Goswami tells to Parikshit Maharaj, Chirani, second canto, second chapter, verse number 4 and 5. Satyam Kshitau Kim Kashipur Prayasai Bahau Swasiddhe Upabarhanai Kim Satyanjalau Kim Purudanna Patriya Digvalkaladau Satikim Dukulai. Parishit Maharaj, Shukdev Goswami is trying to inspire detachment in Parishit Maharaj. He says when there are ample earthly flats are there, then what is the need of a cot and a bed? You can sleep in any earthly, you can sleep on any ground. When somebody has arms, what is the need of a pillow? If somebody has the palm, what is the need of a utensils? With a palm one can eat. And when there are tree barks everywhere, what is the need of any clothing? And then he says that Chirani Kim Patina Santi Dishanti Bhiksham Naivangripa Parabruta Sarito Pyashushyan Ruddha Guha Kim Ajito Vatinopa Sannan Kasmad Bhajanti Kavayo Danadurmadanda. There are no torn cloths lying on the, are there no torn cloths lying on the common road? If you want to wear something, there may be some torn cloths lying there, you can use that. And do the trees which exist for maintaining others, if you want to eat food, trees will give fruits and roots. If you are thirsty, rivers will give water. And if you want to live under a shelter, there are caves in the mountain. And above all, does the Almighty Lord not protect the fully surrendered souls? So definitely Krishna protects the surrendered souls. If the Krishna protects the surrendered souls, why then do the learned sages go to flatter those who are intoxicated by wealth? So Shukdev Goswami is saying that sadhus should not go to flatter some wealthy men to get some wealth. Sadhus should depend on Krishna for protection. The similar thing Prabhupada is writing here, that Narada Muni is saying that Mama Shuchasva Tanayam Deva Guptam, your son is well protected by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sharanagati, one of the 6 symptoms of Sharanagati is that Rakshayishyati Vishwaso Goptrutve Varanam Tata. Krishna will protect me. Krishna will maintain me. Therefore, a surrendered soul is never alone. He is never unprotected. He will be protected by the Lord. So, Uttanapad thought that who is going to protect my young 5-year-old boy? He must be in a precarious condition in the jungle. But Narada Muni is saying that Tat Prabhavam Avijnaya, you do not have sufficient information about the Supreme Lord. You are not aware of the prowess of your son. So therefore, this is a very important shloka. Anybody who engages in devotional service will never be unprotected by the Lord. Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. This is the eternal verdict of Krishna. My devotee will never perish. A devotee will never be unprotected by Krishna. So here, and also another point here is that tat prabhavam avijnaya. From Uttanupad's point of view, he is not aware of Dhruva's Sharanagati, but Narada Muni is telling that. Similar words come, tat prabhavam avijnaya comes in various places. I'll just show you some of the places. The 8th canto of the Bhagavatam during the Samudra Manthan episode. During the Samudra Manthan episode, when the poison came, that time Devatas approached Lord Shiva and asked and requested him to consume the poison. Lord Shiva, as a responsible husband, he asked the permission of his wife. When he asked the permission of his wife, which wife will give permission to the husband to drink poison? But then Parvati gave permission to Lord Shiva. Evam amantriya bhagavan bhavanim vishwabhavanah tad visham jagdum arebe prabhavagyan anvamodata. How could she give permission to Lord Shiva to drink poison? Because Parvati knew the power of Lord Shiva, that he has the power to digest the poison. Tat prabhavagya, because she perfectly knew the capability of Lord Shiva, therefore she gave her permission. And then the 9th canto, Jamadagni told Parashuram, Jamadagni's wife Renuka, when she went to fetch water, for a moment she saw some Gandharva enjoying with some women. For a moment, her mind underwent a transformation. For a moment, she had a thought of enjoying with the Gandharva. But then Jamadagni, by his mystic power, he could understand what happened in the mind of Renuka for a moment. And he became so angry, he told his eldest son to sever the head of Renuka. For a small momentary mistake, such as severe punishment, because Jamadagni was overcome. That is the nature of anger. But how can the son, the eldest son, he declared, how can I kill my mother? Jamadagni became angry. He told his second son, you sever the head of your mother and also your elder brother who disobeyed my order. He also declined. And then he told his third son, you sever the head of your mother and also your 2 elder sons. He also declined. How can somebody kill the mother and the 2 brothers? Finally, he told his youngest son Parashuram, you must kill your mother and also all your elder brothers. This is the power of excessive anger. But then Parashuram immediately executed the order of his father. How could he do that? Bhagavatam says that Rama Sanchodita Pitra Bratrin Matra Sahavadit Prabhavagyo Mune Samyak Samades Tapasachasa. Parashuram, knowing the power of his father, who was practiced in meditation austerity, killed his mother and brothers immediately. Because he knew that by executing the order of my father, I will be pleasing my father. And my father, when he becomes pleased, he will tell me to ask for a benediction. That time I can ask the benediction. Because my father has the capacity to revive my brother and brothers and mother. So knowing that, he acted. The 5th canto, the Sapta Rishis. They are carrying Mother Ganges even to this date on their tufts of hair. Uh, to, to make your hair wet all the time, it is inconvenient. You go to take bath, and first thing after taking bath, what do? You wipe your hair. That's the first thing we do. Because if the hair is wet, then you get cold and other fever and all comes. But Sapta Rishis, they are carrying the Mother Ganges even to this date on their tufts of hair. How could they do that? Because Bhagavatam says that they prabhava abhijna yam nanu tapasa. Because they knew the greatness of Ganga who emanates from the lotus feet of Krishna. Therefore, they don't mind the austerity of carrying Ganga on their head. Another verse. And Krishna was on the coils of Kaliya. All the Vrajavasis, they collapsed on seeing that scene. But Balaramji was smiling there peacefully. Why was he simply smiling? Because Tamstata Kataran Vikshya Bhagavan Madhavo Balaha Prahasya Kinchin Novacha Prabhavagyo Anujasya Saha. Because Balaramji knew the extraordinary power of his younger brother Krishna. Therefore, he was simply smiling. So, Indra, another place. Indra sent his Apsaras to make Naranarayana Rishi fall down from the spiritual position. Because Indra was not aware of the greatness of Naranarayana Rishi. Indra considered Naranarayana Rishi to be ordinary. Therefore, he sent Apsaras to make them fall down. And even Devahuti says that Indriyarteshu sajjantya prasangas tvayime kruta ajanantya parambhavam tatapyastu abhayayame. She is telling to Kardama Muni, because I did not know the greatness of your highly advanced spiritual position, I used your association for my sense gratification. I did not use your association for advancing in spiritual path. Please give me fearlessness. Please give me transcendental knowledge. So therefore, knowing the greatness of a person. When we know the greatness of Krishna, then a person progresses from Anishtita Bhajana Kriya to Nishtita Bhajana Kriya. A person progresses from unsteady devotional service to steady devotional service. When a person knows the greatness of Krishna, that is what Krishna says in 10.7. 10.7, he says that Bhagavad Gita 10.7. Yetam vibhutim cha yogam cha mamayo veti tatvatah sovikalpena yogena yujyate natra samshayah. The person who knows my vibhuti, my opulences, such a person avikalpena yogena, he becomes firmly situated in my devotional service. He comes to a steady devotional service platform. On this, there is no doubt. So here also Narada is telling to Uttanapad, you do not know the prowess of your son. Therefore, you are lamenting. Your son is protected by the Supreme Lord. Very soon, his fame will spread everywhere. It's a very important shloka. Next shloka. Sudushkaram karma kritva.
Sudushkaram karma kritva.
Lokapalairapi prabhu.
लोकपाले अपि प्रभु
ऐष्यत्यचिरतो राजन्
ऐष्यत्यचिरतो राजन्
यशो विपुलयं स्तव.
यशो विपुलयं स्तव. Translation: My dear king, your son is very competent. He will perform activities which would be impossible even for great kings and sages. Very soon he will complete his task and come back home. You should know that he will also spread your reputation all over the world.
So very beautiful shloka. Sudushkaram karma kritva lokapalairapi prabhu. Aishyat achirato rajan yasho vipulayam stava. Sudushkaram karma, after performing very difficult tasks which are difficult even for the devatas. Lokapalairapi. After performing tasks difficult even for the devatas, achirato aishyati. Hey Rajan, your son will return very soon. Yasho vipulayam stava, spreading your fame everywhere. Your fame will be spread everywhere as the father of Dhruva. Spreading your fame everywhere. So here we see that Narada is telling that Rokapalair api Prabhu. Dhruva Maharaj is called as Prabhu. So the Prabhu word we also use for the Supreme Personality of God. And even the spiritual master is sometimes called by the word Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada word, what all meaning we can say? Prabhoho Padaha. The lotus feet of Bhagavan is called a spiritual master. Because the spiritual master has taken shelter of the Krishna, he stays in the lotus feet of Bhagavan, therefore Prabhoho Padaha. That way we can say the lotus feet of Bhagavan is Prabhupada, the spiritual master. Or another meaning of the word Prabhupada is that person on whose feet many Prabhus take shelter. Srila Prabhupada, on his feet, so many living entities have taken shelter. Therefore, he is called as Prabhupada. Because Srila Prabhupada has taken shelter of Krishna, therefore, he is that person on whose feet many Prabhus have taken shelter. This is the second meaning of Prabhupada. One on whose feet many Prabhus take shelter. And the third meaning of Prabhupada is that person who makes a Aprabhu into Prabhu, who transforms a Aprabhu into Prabhu, that person is called as Prabhupada. Aprabhu means one who is a servant of the senses. Prabhu means the master of the senses. So one who has made Aprabhu into a Prabhu is Prabhupada. Prabhupada said that somebody asked Prabhupada, Swamiji, what miracles have you performed? Prabhupada said that I have transformed hippies into happies. That is the miracle. I made hippies into happies, the Aprabhus into Prabhu. So, these are some meanings of the word Prabhupada. Prabhu means the supreme. So, Prabhupada is a general name. It refers to, we use this word to refer to Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON. This name is also used to refer to Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. This name is also used to refer to Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, to Sanatana Goswami, like that. This can be used. So Prabhu means the Supreme Lord, Pada means feet. The spiritual master occupies the post of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or he is a representative of the Supreme Lord. Dhruva Maharaj is described as Prabhu because he is the Acharya of the Vaishnava school. And then we see Sudushkaram Karma Kritva. Dhruva Maharaj is going to perform the most difficult task. The most difficult task in life is to satisfy the Supreme Personality of God. Why it is called as a difficult task? Actually, Krishna is pleased by bhakti, but bhakti is mentioned as Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Idamuttamam Pratyaksha Avagamam Dharmyam Susukam Kartumavyayam. Susukam. Bhakti is a pleasurable process. It is easily performed. Parama Karuna Pahuduvijana Kevala Ananda Kanda. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given a very blissful process. So bhakti is an easy process. Why it is mentioned a difficult task? Because Krishna is pleased by pure devotion, sincere devotion. That means a person should have a sincere, serious, and without ulterior motives. Because it is directly dealing with our false ego. We have so many attachments and false ego. Physically, we can do many extraordinary things. But then bhakti is a process where we offer our heart to Krishna. Where we offer our heart to Krishna. So in that sense, we can say that because we have so many attachments in this world, it becomes difficult to offer our heart to Krishna. Therefore, it is said the most difficult task is to satisfy the Supreme Lord. And then Prabhupada is saying that you must remember that Dhruva Maharaj was determined. He was not a fickle person. Every devotee, therefore, should be determined that in this life he will be able to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and by that process go back home, back to Godhead. That is the perfection of the highest mission of life. That is the perfection of the highest mission of life. So we see one of the main lessons from Dhruva Maharaj's life is how he was determined to execute the order of his spiritual master and Narada. We have discussed many times about determination also. There are 3 levels of determination. Prarabhyate na khalu vigna bayena nichaihi. The lowest level of determination is that just out of fear of the obstacle, the person does not even start a task. Madhyama level of determination is somebody who starts the task, but when the obstacles come, then he stops it. Stops following the right path. But the Uttama level of determination is somebody never gives up the right path despite facing repeated obstacles. So Dhruva Maharaj is a very he is known for his determination, how he determinedly executed the order of his Guru. So we see that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going on a South Indian tour, Mahaprabhu's servant Kala Krishna Das got attracted to certain Bhattahari women, certain gypsy women in the South India. Then Mahaprabhu had to bring him back from he had gone away. Mahaprabhu brought him back. So later when Mahaprabhu was going to Vrindavan, at that time, the devotees wanted to send an assistant to Mahaprabhu. But Mahaprabhu, he said that, I will not take any of my associates. Because if I choose somebody, if I neglect others, then others will be unhappy. Let me take a new devotee. Then Mahaprabhu says that Nutana Sangi Haibeka Snigda Yandramana Aicheyaba Payata Be Laika Jana. Such a person who is my assistant should be a new man and he must have a peaceful mind. Or he should have a steady mind. If I can obtain such a man, I shall agree to take him with me. He should be a peaceful man. He should be a steady man. So Mahaprabhu is remembering his experience with the Kala Krishnadas. Therefore, he is saying that I want a new man. At the same time, he should have a peaceful mind. So Prabhupada says that one whose mind is not peaceful is agitated by the certain drives, especially sex desire. Even though he be in the company of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, such a man will become a victim of women and will fall down even in the company of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Maya is so strong that unless one is determined not to fall victim, even the Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot give protection. The Supreme Lord and his representative always want to give protection. But a person must take advantage of their personal contact. If one thinks that the Supreme Personality of Godhead or his representative is an ordinary man, he will certainly fall down. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he wanted somebody who is determined, who had a peaceful mind, and who is not agitated by ulterior motives. Rukmini Devi's determination, the Bhagavatam describes. Rukmini Devi, she wrote a letter to Krishna, and at the end of the letter, she says that Yasyangri Pankaja Raja Snapanam Mahanto Vanchantyumapatirivātmatamo Yarhyambujakshana Bhavat Prasadam Jakhyamasun Vratakrishan Shatajanma Bisyat. Great souls like Lord Shiva hanker to bathe in the dust of your lotus feet and thereby destroy their ignorance. If I cannot obtain your mercy, I shall give up my vital force, which will have become weak from the severe penances. Then after hundreds of lifetimes of endeavor, I may obtain your mercy. So therefore, many verses about determination I have already covered previously. Don't want to go through. Okay. So here Prabhupada is emphasizing determination. And then the next section describes Dhruva Maharaj's austerities. Maitreya Uvacha.
Maitreya Uvacha.
Iti Devarshina Proktam.
Iti Devarshina Proktam.
Vishrutya Jagati Patihi.
Shrutya Jagati Pati.
Rajalakshmi Manadritya.
Rajalakshmim Anadritya.
Putramevanva Chintayat.
Putram Evan Vachintayat. Translation. The great Maitreya continued, the king Uttanpad, after being advised by Narad Muni, practically gave all duties in relation with his kingdom, which was very vast and wide, opulent like the goddess of fortune, and he simply began to think of his son Dhruva.
So, Narada Muni simply began to Iti Devarshina Proktam. After hearing what Narada had said, Jagati Pati, the king, Raja Lakshmim Anadritya, he lost all interest in his wealthy kingdom. Putram eva anvachintayad. He thought only about his son. Thought only about his son. And then the next section describes the Dhruva's austerities. Tatrabhishikta prayatas.
Tatrabhishikta
Mataji, continue.
prayatas
Tamuposhya vibhavarim.
tamuposya vibhavare
Samahita paryacharad.
samahita paryacharad
Rishyadeshena purusham.
Visyadesena Purusham. Translation. Elsewhere, Dhruva Maharaj, having arrived at Madhuvan, took his bath in the river Yamuna and observed fasting in the night with great care and attention. After that, as advised by the great sage Narada, he engaged himself in worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
So, tatra abhishiktaha prayataha. Abhishiktaha, taking bath. Tatra refers to the Madhuvan. And then prayataha refers to, I think, with great attention. Tam uposhya, he fasted that night. And then Dhruva Maharaj, he began his austerities. Being purified, then Rishi Adeshena, according to the instruction of Narada, this is the most important word. Purusham Paryacharat, Samahitaka Paryacharat. He worshipped the Lord with full attention. With full attention, he worshipped the Lord as instructed by Rishi Narada. So this shows the sincerity of Dhruva. Dhruva sincerely followed the instructions of Narada. Although he had a material motivation, but he sincerely followed the instructions of his Guru. So here we see that Dhruva Maharaj exactly acted according to the instruction of his Guru. Yasya prasadat bhagavat. Actually, when we recite this particular song, we sing as Yasya prasadat. Actually, Yasya prasadat, that is the right pronunciation. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado. Yasya prasadat nagati hutopi. In the first line, Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado. The second line is that Yasya prasadat. If you read the translation, the second line, Yasya, the dirgha is there. I'll show you that. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasada. And then the next line is that Yasya prasadat nagati hutopi. Oftentimes the second line, instead of the dirgha, we end up pronouncing as the hrasva. When we pronounce as hrasva, the meaning gets changed. The first line, Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasada. By the mercy of the spiritual master, the Bhagavan is pleased. That's the first line. Second line is that Yasya prasadat nagati hutopi. Without the mercy of the Guru, one cannot make any progress. The second line is that Yasya aprasadat. Yasya aprasadat, because of Sandhi, it becomes Yasya prasadat. Yasya aprasadat means without the mercy of the Guru, na gatihi, one cannot make progress. But when we pronounce as, oftentimes people pronounce as second line also as a hrasva instead of dirgha. We pronounce as hrasva, it becomes that yasya prasadat nagatiku topi. That means by the mercy of the Guru, one cannot make any advancement. So it becomes a completely opposite meaning. So the second line is that yasya prasada. That means that without the mercy of the Guru, one cannot make any advancement. That is the meaning. So anyway, so the service to Guru becomes the most important factor. That is the secret of success in the progress in spiritual life. Satisfying the bona fide Guru. Yasya deve parabhaktir yatha deve tata gurau tasyaite katita hyarta prakashante mahatmana. That person who has unflinching faith both in Guru and Krishna, to him all the imports of the scriptures are revealed. In the Bhagavatam 7th canto, 15th chapter, Narada Muni speaks about different anarthas and how to overcome the different anarthas. One can overcome kama by determination. One can overcome greed by discussing the disadvantages of wealth. And one can overcome krodha by giving up kama. So like that, he mentions different things actually. But finally, he says that, but one can overcome all these anarthas by service to the lotus feet of the Guru. When service to Guru is one broad spectrum antibiotic by which one can overcome all the anarthas. So therefore, Prabhupada says in the 13th chapter, Acharyo Pasanam Shaucham. Acharya Upasanam is one of the way to obtain transcendental knowledge. In that purport, Prabhupada explains that by serving the spiritual master, one can make immediately, one can become immediately advanced. Even though he may not have executed the other regulative principles. Or the regulative principles will become easier for a person who is engaged in the service of the Guru. So therefore, the Guru's following the Guru's instruction, that becomes very important. Another place in the Bhagavatam, 2nd canto, 9th chapter, Prabhupada says that one should not be dependent on extensive study of the scriptures. Persons desiring to know the best sadhana for the self should learn from the feet of the Guru. Yetavad eva jignasyam tattva jignasunatmanaha anvaya vyatirekabhyam yatsyat sarvatra sarvada. This is one of the Chatushloki Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore, among the 64 items of bhakti, the first 3 angas are the most important. They are in relation to the Guru. Guru Padashraya, Krishna Dikshadi Shikshanam, and Vishrambena Guru Seva. The first 3 items. One who has executed these preliminary duties, Guru Padashraya, Krishna Dikshadi Shikshanam, and Vishrambena Guru Seva. One who has executed these preliminary duties is qualified to relish Srimad Bhagavatam. So, like that, the many points about the importance of Guru can be spoken, but I will just mention a few points. Another place, Prabhupada says that when the Malayadvaja in the 4th canto, the Puranjan story, when Malayadvaja disappears, when he died, at that time his wife started lamenting in the middle of the forest. Her husband has left his body. So Prabhupada says that Malayadvaja represents the Guru and Vaidarabhi represents the disciple. the disciple and the spiritual master are never separated. When a spiritual master expires, the disciple should cry exactly as the queen cries when the king leaves his body. And as long as the spiritual master is physically present, the disciple should serve the physical body of the guru. And when the spiritual master is no longer physically existing, or he may be physically existing, but we are not having the opportunity to physically serve the guru, then the disciple should serve the instructions of the guru, Vani Seva. And then Prabhupada says that it is the duty of the disciples to take charge of the mission of the guru and execute it properly. Otherwise, the disciple should decide to die along with the guru. In other words, to execute the will of the guru, the disciple should be prepared to lay down his life and abandon all personal considerations. And that is what Prabhupada read in the commentary to the verse, Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kurunandana, bahushaka yanantascha buddhayo avyavasayina. That commentary, Vishwanath Chakravarti says that one should take the instruction of the guru as one's life and soul. When Prabhupada read that, he became very inspired. Therefore, Prabhupada says that when one becomes serious to follow the mission of the guru, his determination is tantamount to seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This means meeting the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the instruction of the guru. This is technically called Vani Seva. Instead of being eager to see the Krishna in some bushes of Vrindavan, while at the same time engaged in sense gratification, one should stick to the principle of following the words of the Guru. Then he will see the Supreme Lord without a difficulty. So these are some points about the importance of Guru. And then further he says that there need be no anxiety over attaining perfection, because if one follows the instruction of the Guru, he is sure to attain perfection. Our only concern should be how to execute the order of the Guru. And spiritual master is somebody who is expert in engaging the disciple in Krishna's service according to their nature. And by executing the order of the Guru, that is the way of perfection. So the most important instruction of the Guru is chanting the holy names of Krishna. There may be other instructions which may be temporary for a particular period. But the eternal instructions of the Guru are chanting the holy names of Krishna and being the servant of the Vaishnavas and assisting in the preaching mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada. These are eternal instructions. And apart from that, there are certain specific time-bound sections. They are there. That may be differ from person to person. So then next verse onward, there's a long purport. Next verse, I think I'll take up next week. Next week, we'll try to complete this chapter. If anybody has any questions, we'll take.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare.
Yeah, so just when you yourself was describing the disciple and spiritual master, Quresh was one of the ideal disciple of Sripad Ramanujacharya, right?
Yes. Yes. Quresh. He gave his eyes for the sake of Ramanuja. By sacrificing his eyes for the sake of his Guru, he gave vision to the whole world.
And also when he was asked like by Sripad Ramanujacharya, for a benediction, he still did not ask for his eyesight. Right?
Yes. There are many examples of Quresh is one of them. Thank you, Mataji, for sharing.
Dhanurdas, no? Dhanurdas.
Uh,
Mm.
Lokanath Goswami, Narottam Das Thakur. Gaudiya Sampradaya, also many examples. Srila Prabhupada. Rupa Goswami, how he followed instructions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dealing with his Guru Ishvara Puri, many such examples.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Dandvat Pranam Prabhuji. Prabhuji is sometimes that some devotees tells us to do some service. Like for example, if one is not good in book distribution, so can he say that I am not will be not be able to do this service properly, instead of saying yes and not doing it properly, or in the mind feeling that I am not able to do, or how one can say no? What is the procedure? Because we see that Dhruva Maharaj, before when he met Narad Muni, he also said that no, I can't follow this process. Being a Kshatriya, in my blood there is no qualities of such as Brahmana. So instead we can say that I can do some other service, not this service. So I want to understand this.
Yeah, we can see certain services sometimes there may be a need of the hour. At that time, although that service may not be according to our nature, if it is a need of the hour, at that time, we surrender to the need. And we may not be very good in that service. Like book distribution, like somebody, from one point of view, if we see that book distribution, one point of view, it is somebody who has a good, say, marketing skills or something, like you may be able to sell properly like that. Many people. So from one point of view, okay, such people are
Prabhuji, you're
good.
muted.
Not audible.
No, I am audible. Why am not audible?
Now it is possible. Last few seconds it was not audible.
So sometimes, from one point of view, somebody who has a good marketing skills may be good in book distribution. From another point of view, it's not that simply somebody who has a marketing skill. It is basically we are actually trying to. It is the same service given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur. Go and tell everyone about the message of Krishna, worship Krishna. That's the same thing as that one. In that sense, it is meant for everyone. Somebody, okay, has a certain skill set of this one, he may be able to sell more books. That is another thing. But otherwise, from spiritual point of view, it is a service for everyone. Somebody, one can try to do according to one's capacity. Cooking is cooking is from one point of view, it's somebody who has good cooking skills to cook. But from another point of view, everybody can engage in cooking in the form of like assisting in the cooking, sabji cutting, or washing vessels, or cleaning the kitchen, or simple basic cooking anybody can do. The sense, in every service, if you see that there is somebody who has a particular nature who will be able to do that service more better. But from another point of view, every service, for example, fund collection. Fund collection, we may think, oh, somebody who is good talker, sweet talker, and this one, he will be able to collect more funds. But that is there. But from another spiritual point of view, fund collection is what? we are trying to unite Lakshmi with Narayan, Sita with Ram.
Hmm.
So it is the same service performed by Vishwamitra, who united Sita with Ram. It is the same service performed by Hanuman, who went on a mission to find Sita. The same service performed by Valmiki Rishi. So therefore, if you see from a spiritual point of view, it is like when you understand the spiritual purpose, one can try to do the same service according to one's capacity. Basically, somebody will be able to collect crores and lakhs as well. But sometimes when it is given, one may do that according to one's capacity. Seeing the spiritual aspect of, oh, I'm trying to unite Lakshmi with Sita, Lakshmi with Narayana. So, yeah, apart from that, when there is a need, sometimes we may have to do a service, although it's not according to our nature. But apart from that, sometimes we can request this service is according to my nature. One can engage in that service of the blessings of the superiors.
So Prabhu means that one should not compare and feel dejected. So if it is a need of an hour, one should do it as much as capacity. Thank you, Prabhu. Nice understanding, Prabhu, today. Thank you.
Prabhupada, in the beginning of ISKCON, some of the devotees did, if you see, quantity-wise, they did very little service. Quantity-wise, they might have given some few $100 or something as a donation. But Prabhupada was, at the time of his greatest need, poor helped in whatever way. Prabhupada never forgot them. Even when he was in the deathbed in Vrindavan, he remembered George Harrison. He gave his ring to be given to George Harrison. So George Harrison helped Prabhupada at the time of his need for printing the Krishna book. He helped many other different hippies, many devotees who helped Prabhupada in the beginning of his mission. Therefore, those services, quantity-wise, might have been small, but they were performed at the time of the greatest need. So that permanently, that deeply went into the heart of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada never forgot that. Hare Krishna. We'll stop here. Thank you very much for your patient attention.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.